My pleasure to bring to the stage the people who truly deserve this award, people who have been visionaries and leaders not just for charter schools, but more importantly, for our children. And that's Joel Greenblatt, Eva Moskowitz, and John Petry. Please come to the stage.
Well, thank you, Dennis. First of all, on behalf of Joel, Eva, and myself, I'd like to share how much admiration for CUP we all have and how honored we are to receive this award. I'd also like to thank CUP for the role it's played in the growth of Harlem's success. Among the CUP members who are on our boards are Gina Graves, who was part of our founding board for HSA 1, Anthony Williams and Rob Aziki, who joined in 2007 for Schools That Opened in 2008. And Robert Refkin, our first board chair from CUP, who organized a board to lead us into the Bronx. As you can see, CUP members have been tremendously valuable in building up our network of schools. We encounter a tremendous amount of misperceptions about charter schools, so briefly, I'd like to quickly say what they are and what they are not. Charter schools are not private schools, they're not magnet schools, they're not selective schools, they are not religious schools, and they are not unregulated schools. Charter schools are public schools that accept any child who applies, from stars to struggling students, through a random lottery process. They are free for all students, and they generally serve students in disadvantaged neighborhoods. I'd like to tell you a bit about our original school, which is now in its 4th year and has grades kindergarten through 4th grade. I may be biased, but I think Eva has created one of the best schools in the country. In a few minutes, I'm going to share some statistics about our school's academic performance. But please keep in mind that our academic achievements are part of an enriched curriculum where children take science 5 days a week starting in kindergarten, where we are fanatical about children learning chess, where children read tens of thousands of books per year, and where all children are engaged in the arts. Our families are overwhelmingly of color. Over 75% live in poverty, and 20% of our kids are special ed kids. The ongoing crisis that exists at our urban schools is as tragic as ever. I'm going to use Harlem District 5 as an example, not because it's the worst school district in the city, but because it's where most of our families live. In District 5, by 3rd grade, most of the schools have more than 4 in 10 kids who are reading below grade level. And by 8th grade, most of the schools, more than half of the kids are reading below grade level. Believe it or not, one school has 16% of 8th graders at grade level. 84% are below grade level. Many of these schools have been failing for decades, impervious to repeated attempts at reform, and therefore with great political courage, Mayor Bloomberg and Chancellor Klein had worked to close and reconstitute failing schools. Amazingly, the UFT sued to keep open academically failing schools on legal technicalities. But we know that the kids in Central Harlem can learn at much higher levels than those same kids are performing at locally zoned public schools. As you already heard on last year's New York State math exam, 100% of our kids pass. But our kids also perform better than the kids in the wealthiest suburbs like Great Neck and Scarsdale, and better than the kids on the Upper East Side of Manhattan and the Upper West Side of Manhattan. Less than 10 zone schools in the entire state had higher math scores than us, out of thousands. In reading, it was the same. 95% of our kids were at grade level in reading. But not only that, more than 20% of them were above grade level, 5 times the rate of the district. To put that into context, out of the 1,000 3rd graders in District 5, only 37 were above grade level. At our school, our 60 kids, 14 of them were above grade level. While I'm very proud of our results, if you look at some of the other high-performing charter networks around the city, such as Uncommon Schools or Harlem Children's Zone, Achievement First, KIPP Academy, or Village Academies, you'll see many other charter schools that have also attained impressive academic results. For us and all the networks mentioned, this level of academic achievement has many sources. We're free of the bureaucracies that hamper public schools. We can select and promote teachers based on excellence and performance, not seniority. We structure the school day around the needs of the kids, not the needs of the adults, which means a longer school day and a longer school year. And we are accountable to regulators who will not renew our charter if we don't demonstrate that we're educating kids. Most importantly, though, we're accountable to the parents, who can vote with their feet if they don't like the education we're providing their kids. You would think that this level of success that we and other charter schools have achieved would be universally celebrated, but in fact it's not. Because it threatens the entrenched adults in the status quo. Despite our success in operating schools, every day we need to fight to keep our schools open. The teachers union and some of their friends in the Assembly and Senate want to cut funding for all charter schools like Harlem Success and prevent us from using public space to educate public school kids from the community. This August, Success Charter Network will have 7 schools with about 2,500 kids, 5 in Harlem and 2 in the Bronx. Our students' performance has driven overwhelming demand. Our lottery is coming up in 2 weeks. The Harlem Success Academies had 7,000 applications this year. And when you look across the zip codes, about half of all age-eligible kids apply to our school. Yet, some are ignoring the wishes of families in the community and trying to stop more charter schools from opening. CUP support in getting us started has been critical. But the CUP community's support in allowing us and all charter schools to continue to provide excellent education choices to students will be even more important. Most people in this room may not know that about 2 months ago, we nearly saw the future of charter schools in New York destroyed. Albany very nearly passed a bill that would have made it virtually impossible to open or move a new school in public space and would have created many more obstacles. Now, I don't actually run a school, but I watch the 20-hour days that Eva puts into running a system of world-class schools, and I can tell you it's incredibly hard. Running the schools while roadblocks are thrown up is even harder than incredibly hard. But we'll keep trying to educate kids at a world-class level with everyone's help here and continued support. Together we can create many more excellent schools in neighborhoods where such schools have been virtually non-existent for decades. So to be able to continue this work, we desperately need all of you to start joining school boards if you haven't, starting schools if you're interested, and to tell every elected official that you encounter that great schools, no matter what you call them, need to be allowed to open, so we need to lift the cap on charter schools without doing them any harm, as you heard the governor ask earlier. They need continued access to public school space, and children at public charter schools should be funded at the same level as children at public district schools. Last year, despite starting at 75% of the funding that comparable public schools received, charter schools suffered a funding freeze that other schools didn't. If we let this happen again, we'll start destroying the only free, non-selective public schools in high-needs communities that are providing world-class educations at scale. So we want everyone here to be involved, and we need everyone here to be involved. If you're interested in learning more or want to help in any way, please contact me or get in touch with CUP, which is already doing so much great work in this area. Thank you.